Film Junkies Season 4, Episode 3. The last episode of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Luke on my right and Maeve on my left. I got that right. Don't worry about it. How are you guys? How are you keeping?
Good.
Yeah, very good.
You've been outside chatting for the last 2 hours, so you're
Yes,
well
we have.
practiced.
Yeah.
It was like last season when Timmy and Eric were chatting for so long and they came in and they were like too buzzed from Red Bulls.
Yeah, they had like 5 Red Bulls between them. Like,
So you're well practiced. How are you keeping? Any news?
Nah, all boring. How about yourself?
I'm a bit tired now right after
Yeah.
the day.
Long
It's very
day.
warm in here, isn't it?
yeah,
Oh, you wearing a hoodie? I'd be sweating.
Literally.
just I'm used to it. Like,
Is this your
Yeah.
podcast?
this is my podcast look.
Okay.
I
One
went
of
through.
several, I'd imagine.
I went
so
through the
no.
wardrobe last night.
And your
Make
mom
sure.
picked out that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Nice.
thanks very much.
Just you'd be sweating at the end of this, so.
But it's black, so it doesn't matter.
True. See, this guy. Let's see. Have him on. But listen, it's great. We have 50 minutes, so it's great to have you here. One thing I wanted to first start off with, like the last 2 episodes, I had Maeve and Hannah, then I had Luke, Jack and Owen, and they were, I think, a lot of those are actively involved in Bolt, and those guys are always, they're in around each other a lot of the time. Like they work together quite a lot. But you guys, as far as I know you, it's Midnight City and Bust. Together. I know you're actually doing, but I made you
Please
told you
hire
Midnight
us.
City. Please hire. Oh yeah, they're both unemployed.
us
So anyone
jobs.
looking, if you want any
Yeah.
job, wedding photographer.
Anything, music videos, corporate stuff.
You should do music
Yeah,
videos
yeah.
lately, so you're not
I'm
too
doing
bad.
a few music videos. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got loads coming up. My summer's packed
Packed.
with stuff. Yeah,
That's really reassuring.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mm.
I'm just fake it till you make.
Yeah.
Is it all in Mallow? Everything you're doing
Yeah,
is in
I'm
Mallow.
in Mallow, yeah.
Apparently Mallow.
Yeah.
They must know you on that Cork to Mallow train, personally.
Probably, yeah.
Or
yeah.
Mallow to Cork one, whichever
Yeah.
one it goes.
Don't
Probably
give you free
both.
rides though.
No, they don't. But see, it's so funny. I'm just outing myself on camera. The ticket
just hate the
collector
camera.
or the ticket checkers like recognize me, so they don't even bother checking my ticket anymore. Yeah, so like yeah,
I kind of want to reach that level, but like at a bar.
it's a bit
Mm.
sad. It's a bit sad. Like,
Small bit, but look, appreciate the small things.
yeah.
And Maeve, what about you? Any story?
Yeah, just kind of. I'm working with Hannah in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, she was saying, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that on? Is that a Bolt thing?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. It's Luke Murphy's directing it. I worked with him before on a commercial. So good to work with, and so he got on to me December. So it's a short film called Homophonia. Make sure I'm saying that right because my Irish is terrible. But yeah, no. So we're working on that in like 2 weeks' time, which will be cool. To
Cool.
be fair.
Because I was saying, you and Hannah are working together, but
Mm.
because her whole gimmick is set design,
Yeah.
which is what the actors are in and around. But yours is makeup, which is what they're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one of the questions I asked Hannah was like, I know when a director comes to you with a film, they have an idea of what the film would look like. With makeup, is it as much of a deal with? I know the director obviously wants to an actors look a certain way, and that's fine. But when an artist approaches you and they have their own idea of how they want to play the character, would you ever kind of work with them in terms of when you're doing their makeup? We'll say for something dramatic, like I don't know if they're playing like give me something, Dracula,
Yeah.
and the makeup is obvious for something like that.
Mhm.
But if an actor turned around to you and said, "No, I've been thinking about playing it this way," would you communicate on that basis, or do you just go by the director's kind
You
of?
would, but it always, at the end of the day, goes through the director. Or if there's a makeup designer, you always go through the makeup designer. But obviously with like short film stuff, I would technically be the makeup designer if I'm the only one, do you know what I mean, on it.
Yeah.
So like usually by then it will go through the director. But like a lot of the times you're able to kind of mesh ideas together. So it's not a case like, oh no, do you know what I mean? Like a lot of times.
Yeah, I wouldn't picture you something dismissive being like, "No,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
not
no.
doing that." Yeah, work with people around you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So like it is kind of like it is, and I work a lot with like even me and Hannah now. We've been texting back and forth about bringing together costume and stuff like that. So you do work with a lot more people than you think. Do you know what I mean? It's not just me and myself with makeup.
Yeah.
You do have to bring in costume. You have to bring in set design at times as well, and obviously then the director because that's it's what his or her vision is. Do you know? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's a good mix of people, and like obviously actors do have their inputs as well. Do you know what I mean? If they feel that it's more comfortable for the character or it works better for the character, like sometimes they're great ideas and then none of us had thought of it, so it can be a thing of like, oh yeah, do you know, let's do it this way. So
Yeah, because I know with like those big Netflix, even like Vikings and stuff, is it like very? They've made that decision already.
yeah,
Is
so
it not a thing on the day where we're like, this might work, that might work? It must be something like even in Midnight City, where even there was a couple of scenes where we might try this, might try that. The famous black eye. Where I probably had at least 11 or 12 different type of black eye because not because obviously I get it early on in the film and then throughout the film a black eye fades and all that stuff, but even then It was like, what did the black guy look like the last time?
We're
Which
putting
is-
it forward for a makeup award.
Yeah. So
How
there's no
many
need to worry
people
about,
did that
about
black
acceptance
guy?
for that.
A lot more people than there were in the cast, I'd say.
I actually have selfies of every day I had a black eye on me, and I'm like, I
Awesome.
could make like a calendar for every day of the month
It gets
with
worse.
a different
It
black eye.
starts off like this, and then it grows to like this size.
I remember,
then it
yeah.
shrinks back down. To that.
Natalia did it like the first few days when you weren't there, and she was
Yeah.
like, it was just like, I don't even know what you call it, container,
Yeah.
concealer.
Mascara.
Yeah, concealer. Yeah, yeah.
And she was just putting it on, and it was kind of like whatever. And then you came and did it, and it went to the point of like, early on it was kind of big, and then the second day it was like tiny, but the script was kind of like
We have one
chronologically
problem with it,
working.
which is because like it's two scenes take place on the same night, and it's one scene where like it's massive,
Yeah.
and then later on it's like the tiny one.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with it in post at the
And
moment.
did we shoot that on the same night?
No.
Okay,
No,
then that's
they're
probably why.
they're literally months apart.
Was one the black market one, and then the other was like
No, one was during the first block in Mallow, and then the second one was when we came back in September.
Okay.
So I don't remember which day it was which.
For those concerned, by the way, Midnight City is a feature film coming out in Cork.
I don't know this year, next year. I don't
Whenever.
know, man.
It's based in festivals, basically.
I'm still
Yeah.
we're still deep in posts. at
Still
the
shooting
moment.
it, yeah, because Owen was telling me
Yeah.
he's still doing stuff with
We
you.
have,
So.
we have like 20 minutes left. We just have to get some insert shots.
Yeah,
but
well, I
it's,
know that these things take time. It's never going to be
Yeah, like
ready.
oh, like I mean, it's at a place now where if you told me it has to be done tomorrow, I could have it done. But if you left me alone, I'd go on for another 6 months.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
but getting small things that you feel like you miss out on. Or, no, you only know that by constantly looking at it. I think. But festivals is the route, so basically for it,
Yeah.
yeah. Geez, we spent, I think it was around this time, not this time last year, but you definitely started pre-production for it at this point
what are
last
we
year.
in May? Yeah, we
5th of
definitely.
May.
Yeah, definitely. I would have started meeting people around March,
Mm.
and we started filming the 18th of July.
Okay.
So I'd say around now was when I would have been talking to Owen about the main role. Around now.
Okay, I remember I met you on the morning of St. Patrick's Day
Yeah.
in Cork Coffee Roosters before I was going drinking. I was like, I gotta do this meeting first.
Yeah.
And then I went out, and I went out that day really excited because I bumped in to talk about the film and stuff. And yeah, that was the first time I properly spoke to you because you were making another film, and then Eric was
That
supposed
was
to do it.
that was
and-
my final year film in UCC, and you were meant to be in that.
was meant to be in
It
that,
was a scheduling
and
thing.
then I couldn't do it because of scheduling, and then
Yeah.
we did Might City, and then Sparks flew, and we all came together.
I know.
We all
Look
came.
at us
Now
now.
the trifecta of greatness, as some people call us.
3 unemployed people.
Well, I'm employed
well,
in 2 weeks, so I'm
Yeah.
okay.
I'm working tomorrow. To be
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, that's- yeah.
Oh yeah, the wedding.
Yeah, I'm shooting a
So you're
wedding.
not unemployed, you liar.
I'm a second shooter. Yeah, I'm freelance. We'll say.
Fair. I hear that. I love that word, freelance.
Yeah.
I'm just working on
I
some
will
stuff.
do anything.
But one of the things I've asked Hannah this as well a couple of times, and in the last episode I asked her, but like with makeup and set design, I think when you talk to directors and writers and stuff, or sorry, even just writers and producers, they're separate to a film set majority of the time, so you can understand why they wouldn't do that, why they wouldn't try acting,
Yeah.
because they're away from it. They don't really know what it feels like to be on a set. But most of the time, some producers do go on set, whatever. But if you're a makeup designer or a set designer, do you ever get the urge to like, would I try acting?
I think.
Would you ever jump in front of a camera? You were in Midnight City a couple
like
of times.
that's
Yeah.
the thing is, I think that for me the idea of it sounded a lot more fun than I did, and I was like, I have no idea what to do. with
Was
my
it the night? Was it the nightclub scene in St. John's?
Oh,
where
but
she
there was
like,
that. Yeah, that's the other thing. I didn't
Dave
realize.
McSweeney, the other Dave McSweeney as well, was
Oh.
like he's in like 8 or 9 shots
He
of the
So
same
many.
nightclub
he
scene.
has
So
more
many.
screen time than some of the actors, and we've had to cut him out of scenes.
It got to a point where Luke would be like, "We need extras," and it turned out to just be me and Mac, and he'd be like, "Ugh, "Anyone else? Like, please, anyone else?"
I remember he was trying to do like different dances and different takes and different
Oh,
scenes, and he
yeah.
had like a routine of like for the week, whatever scene he gets put in, he's going to do this, and he's
Yeah.
telling me everything. Oh, Dave McSweeney, if you're watching, you're a funny dude, and I
Awesome.
must go to one of his stand-up comedy
I
gigs.
was there last
absolutely.
week. It was very good.
Yeah,
Really?
was that in Douglas? Because there's one.
No, I was in Collins. I
Okay.
was I don't know what day it was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mackie. I don't remember.
Because there's one down the road from where I used to live, which is city limits.
Yeah.
Not once when I was living up did I ever see it open.
Yeah.
It looks pretty like it looks like somewhere. I know people have been in there, and there is gigs happening there, but from the outside it looks like it's never open. But I must go to one of those stand-up comedy gigs.
It was
he does.
good. It was like I think there was they break it up. I think there was like 12 comedians. I left after the first half, which was I had to get a train home.
Okay, I was thinking, I was like, just not
But,
satisfied.
there was 6 of them. They're all really good.
Yeah.
Enjoyable.
So
Yeah.
you're no to the front of the acting and lines and camera and playing characters.
Well, I don't know. I think it kind of like, I think it's a good laugh because I know there's not a lot of responsibility on me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's kind of,
Yeah.
funny me struggling, But I will say, like, that dancing, I didn't realise that, like, because it was like the first thing that I did that had like a dancing scene. So I didn't realise that it was like dead silent and all you could hear was like people's like shoes squeaking.
Oh yeah, I remember
And it was
the
so
black market
awkward.
bit. Yeah, it was like,
Oh.
The black market was a disaster.
but like I
Yeah.
remember shooting it and we were off camera while you were getting shots of just the crowd and just the awkwardness of just hearing pitter patter for
Yeah,
like 15
literally.
seconds before you do a
Just
take.
the runners squeaking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
literally.
just
On
wanted to
camera.
laugh, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. I had to realise, like, I can't laugh because I'm on camera. Do you know what I mean? Or it was the house party scene where Sam barges in, and I was in the back, and
No, yeah, I missed that actually. I remember it
was
happening, but I missed it.
It was just because I was there, and the whole thing is like, don't look at the camera. But then because that's so in my head, I'm there going,
Yeah.
where's the camera? And then I was like saying it to the guy who was with Jack. I was like, what do I do with my hands? Like, I don't know. He was like, just cross them. So I was there the whole time, like this,
Yeah.
in the corner. It was just like, no, I think it was fun. Like, it was a good bit of fun. But I definitely think behind the camera for me, like, for
You know,
sure.
on that day as well, I remember because Sam brought in such an energy that day.
Yeah.
Sam, if you're watching too, I remember him walking in and even Owen tells me about it as well. He was like, he was later on the day and we were all upstairs just chatting away and Sam came up and he was already in character and the whole mood around upstairs just dropped like that and you're ready to go then because of the way Sam was acting on the day, which was just top.
Yeah.
He floored Adam in that take.
Didn't he floor as well? He floored someone into the girl in my course, Kaylin, as well, and he like floored
Yeah.
someone. I think
Adam
he floored her first.
landed on her.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah.
I remember being like, Jesus.
Oh,
And then
Yeah.
I remember you wanted to shoot that scene comically. You told me you said you kind of wanted it to be
originally
done.
it was meant to be much more light-hearted, whereas like it got really intense. Whereas it was meant to kind of be like a harmless encounter that then spiraled.
Oh.
You didn't realize how serious it was.
Okay.
Like the idea was that Sam's character, I'm just spoiling the film. Sam's character is taking it a lot more seriously than all the other lads realize, and then
Okay.
that escalates.
So
Whereas
it did kind of work out the way.
yeah, it did work out. Like it's a very strong scene.
Because I know we
Mm.
reshot it, I think.
We reshot it. Yeah.
But at least
Yeah.
the more you have, the better. I
Yeah,
suppose.
it's because we didn't have any extras the first time. We
Yeah,
did it.
the house party,
It was
like
just-
the most uncool house party where it's
Yeah, there's like
you
4
and
people.
Dave McSweeney
We-
and like
the first time we
400
had
people.
4 extras.
Yeah.
And we literally had to go back and redo it and like make the lads look like they weren't losers. That was basically the whole thing.
But that's not the day where we had to run out that day.
That was the first time. No, that was a different day again.
Wait, what were you running? What? Oh, sorry.
Do you
Yeah,
remember
when,
it was,
yeah. I was
yeah.
remember you put a hood on me.
Yeah.
and we
when I
had to
ran out.
run out, and it was Mike, like
Mike is the
panicked.
producer, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah, and he panicked and just like stayed in the
Oh,
room.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
the
he
whole
stood there,
take, he
yeah.
was like,
I remember Sean bursting out laughing at that. Actually, yeah, that was so funny.
like me and
Yeah.
Mark were out by the door because we ran out to the door, and we were just like, "Is he in there?"
Yeah.
And we just were like dying, just trying to stay quiet. Like it was
I remember
so good.
he panicked so in a way, like you panicked with the cameras on. It's like, what do you do? You freak
yeah.
out. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's totally fair.
Like I don't think I realized like how much goes really like even just into how you stand and do you know what I mean, like how you
Yeah.
present yourself. I didn't realize that it goes that far into when it comes to acting. Like
Yeah, it's overthinking can kill you.
yeah,
Like if
yeah.
you tell yourself too much of what you need to do, you'll just kill the scene, and you need to just because sometimes you need to do a scene, and then you need to just rely on stuff happening that you didn't plan, and then work your way through it, and then do it the way you want, rather than just be like the worst thing someone can do in a scene is tell you need to pick up this book and put it here, because then as an actor before you do the take, you're constantly in your mind thinking, okay, at some point during this take, I have to pick this up and put it here, which brings you out of the character because
Yeah.
you're just yourself picking up something. So even if you're told before a take, pick something up, you do it at whatever point in the take. Now it's different if it has to be
Some
picked up,
directors
but-
would do that, where
Yeah.
they'd want you to do it exactly how things are, like beat by beat, every movement they'd have
Yeah.
calculated. Like
And some actors, to be fair, they don't mind that. Sometimes they do like a bit of coordination because
well,
that.
we had that on the film. Like we had some actors who wanted to like improv and be very loose and kind of go in and explore the scene. And then we had other actors in the scene with them who needed every single beat planned out.
Yeah.
So then, like, how do you? That's a challenge you have. Then is how do you
Match up the
Yeah,
two.
how do you like work
Yeah.
with the two of them at the same time?
I think the better chemistry you have with co-stars, the easier that improv is. I think I love doing improv with people that I know
Yeah,
because you get a feel, you know who they are and you know how they work. I think if you're doing improv with someone you don't know,
It's hard.
it's either going to be brilliant or it's going to be just very tough to get through.
we were going to
Because
do a thing.
saying yes to everything is improv. So
yeah.
We were going to do a thing with the 5 lads. We were going to take you to an escape room and have you do it in character, but it never.
why
mat-
didn't we do that?
Oh,
it-
that
that would
was
have been
so good.
amazing.
it never materialized. But that's what we were going to do before the shoot.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, not even for the film, but just chemistry building.
Just chemistry and character and like just like work up the character a bit, and also just so you'd know each other, because I think the five of you hadn't been in a room together until the rehearsal, which was like a week before we filmed that.
I knew
kitchen scene.
I knew of Owen, and I'd spoken to him. I was in his film. I knew of Eric, obviously. I know too much of Eric.
Yeah.
I met David O at the table read, and then Adam I wouldn't have particularly known, but then obviously of the table read, I get what you mean. It, like, sometimes rehearsing is one thing, but then as people,
it's just chemistry.
Just
But
getting
I will
chemistry
say,
huge.
like, because I came in kind of later on, do you know what I mean? Yeah,
It
and
all
like
went downhill from there.
yeah,
The black guy was all over the place after that.
that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
when it looks good, that's the other person, not me.
No, that is me. But I will say, like, when I came in, like, I genuinely thought that you've all known each other for years. Do you know what I mean?
Really,
It really gave off the energy that you all were so close. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Which is what you want. Do you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, in the film it's college together, so they know each other for
They've been
maybe
living together for
couple
4
years,
years,
yeah.
3-4 years.
But I mean, it is important because
Yeah.
only because of, I think it is still a working environment as well. So that if you're like your co-stars or your co-workers as well, like, it's not just something where you have to pretend to be friends with them. You do have to have some bit of relationship with them, and everyone in the film and the group, they're top actors as well. David O got The Young Fenders.
Stop, really.
He's in
Are
the,
you allowed to say that?
I am allowed to say that because I
Yeah.
got an email saying that he got it. Now, if
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say it, this is the end of me.
Yeah.
But from what I know, and I texted him congratulations, but he said he got it. I'm not sure what he's doing or where he's playing or what character,
Yeah.
but he said he got it, which is great for him.
I was literally talking to him yesterday and he didn't tell me.
Really?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not supposed to say anything. That's great.
Yeah.
Bye bye, Young Fenders. But yeah, I know what you mean. The fact that we didn't know each other for the fact that you thought we knew each other
Yeah,
is great.
yeah.
So I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, there was the scene in the alleyway that I think was the bonder.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Oh, and
everybody's at such a high intense level.
Yeah.
So you bring out what's that in you, and when you unveil that in front of other people, it's no going back.
Yeah.
The rest of the
Mhm.
shoot then was just blessed, like, because we had a couple of bits here and there where it's like a few shots in the house, a few shots in the bedrooms or whatever, and it was all very
I think what
easy
we did
going
as
up
well
and-
was the way we filmed it was we did your day. All the scenes were just Davey and Connor, which is you and Owen. Then the next day it was all of David O's scenes with Owen.
Mm.
Then it was Hugo's scenes with Owen. So by the time we got to the scenes where all five of you were together, Owen had already had days to build up with the five of you, so it kind of anchored
yeah.
his
Mm.
relationship with each of the five lads, or
Yeah.
or the other four lads. Like
He told me about the day, right? The first few days of filming in the middle of June was just like sweating in the,
the
house.
heat
in Mallow.
was
Absolutely insane.
struggling.
So
I remember
glad I
we
didn't work that
whatever.
day.
Yeah, so we're glad you didn't work.
You weren't there,
This is
Maeve
just
was busy
bullying.
up in some show called Vikings or something.
Yeah.
Some indie
But even
horror.
though, like, we got so lucky with the cast and crew that we had, like, you know, because it was my first time working with a makeup artist, like, and we
Yeah.
got such a good one, you know, and then she
Insane.
quit and we got Maeve,
Oh.
and but like everyone really stepped up, I think, and we
Yeah.
got lucky that we had such, like, there was no issues, like,
I think
Yeah.
for all the things that can go wrong on a feature film, and I've heard horror stories, we were great. We had one incident at a location where we'd booked a location and the person was meant to cancel forgot to tell us they'd cancelled.
is this
Yeah, the place. Yeah,
yeah the
where we
place.
were filming with the rave sequence.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
and like that was a very stressful day.
Mm.
Yeah.
But apart from that, we literally had
Yeah.
no issue.
Like I literally was saying to Luke earlier, I was like, honestly, out of everything that I've done, it's one of my top favourites projects to be on.
See,
Just because I think
Very
everyone
nice.
just, became friends. Except for you bullying me.
Yeah, this is 50 minutes
Other
of
than
a
that.
bullying Maeve.
you were warned not to make eye contact with me. Here,
I said that to you before we recorded. What are you
My
doing?
agent told you this beforehand.
You've an agent, you
No.
know. It's my.
I'd love an agent.
I'll give you Darren's number.
Yeah,
But because obviously we in Midnight City, it's more of like it wasn't a huge set, but everyone was in the majority therefore from the same
Mhm.
place.
yeah.
Cork or Mallow. Mallow being the best place in the world, as we know. But with stuff like when you go to Netflix stuff and Vikings,
Yeah.
is it the same energy?
It's not as close knit. No, it's like
More do your job kind of thing.
it's not like, but yeah, like I think at the end of the day, it is always, at the end you have to get a job done. But
Yeah.
and I think it's more like because it's like each section, there's so many people in each section. Like I've run Vikings for makeup on its own. There was like 15 of us,
Yeah,
and
what I was
that's
thinking,
only for crowd, which is all the extras. So like that's not even main or designer or dailies. Do you know what I mean? So you do find yourself that you were kind of in your section, so kind of hair and makeup would be together, and like we kind of hang out the most. You don't really get to know because there's so many people. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially Vikings. Like, there's one day that we were shooting and there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and there's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is kind of hard to really kind of. That's why with, you know, like for example, Midnight City, we all got to know each other very well. Do you know what I mean? But like, so you do get to know your group, but it's kind of, you know, because there's just so
It's
many
such a bigger
people.
scale,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just, you
I
know.
feel like it being an extra in Vikings is the same thing as being like I was a bartender.
Yeah.
Like it's such, like I know so many people that have done extras work on Vikings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But there was a girl, right, I know who did it. She's from Dublin, and she said that she spent more time in makeup and hair than she did shooting.
Yeah.
Like it's 2 hours of the outfit, the face, the shields and stuff like that. I wouldn't know too much about it, but it's 2 hours for that, and then the shoot is like an hour.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an idea of how much goes into it.
And how many people would you do in a day on Vikings?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I'd say it's around, because I was on a job in November that's quite similar. That was similar volume wise of extras.
That
And
you
I'd
can't tell us about.
I can't, because it's not
Oh my God,
released
exciting.
yet. Well, I don't think so anyway, so I won't, just to be safe. But like I remember on that one, it was about 200 a day. Do you know what I mean? No,
Jesus.
because there's a big group of us. You do, and like, to be fair, with it, you know, the makeup isn't too complicated either, so it's a nice quick. So you kind of bang them out, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be kind of different if you're doing makeup on one of the stunt doubles. You'd have to get up earlier. Then, like, there would be days where we start at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Jeez.
Do you know? And then you'd finish then about 6.
Well,
that
you're used to
evening.
that from Midnight City because we countless 12-hour shoot night shoots. What was the day where we shot 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. and then we were shooting that night, but you didn't go home. You stayed in town.
That was, there was one day.
48 hours and no sleepers. I remember I met you that night after getting a full day's sleep,
Yeah.
come back to set, and you were like,
A ghost.
No,
you had a hood up and you were like, I haven't slept.
What happened was, we filmed
Mindset.
8 until 8, which was fine. And then the next morning, we had a 2-hour block from 8 until 10 because it had to be a morning, because of scheduling, we had to film that in the morning. Then we sent everyone home, and we filmed the night from 10 until like 5, I think, in the morning. So we finished the day off, but there was like a 12-hour break or whatever in the middle.
Did I come in the second half?
Possibly.
Was that when you were at that what's it called?
Your call time was at like 2 a.m. at one point. I'm
Yeah,
sure,
I
right?
think it was second, because I remember Mark texting me, bless him. He was like, "Oh, if you want to meet here,"
Yeah.
but I wasn't on that half. Yeah, so it
I
might
think
have been that day.
Yeah, there was a few times when I didn't eat a warm meal for like 5 days at one point.
insane.
The arts, huh?
The arts, yeah.
Crazy. No, I just remember seeing your face after coming back after 12 hours, a good night's sleep, a good day's sleep,
Yeah.
and come back and you had night. I thought you'd gone home.
Didn't
Yeah,
recognize.
But you were one of, I think you were the only one that didn't sleep for that entire
Yeah,
shoot.
but I mean, it comes with the job. I mean, it's not that I was like, you know, in the mindset. I literally didn't.
Yeah.
I went home, and I would be dozing off, and then someone would ring me for a
About something.
question, and then you'd be dozing off again, and then the phone would ping. You'd get an email that someone else needs to know where to meet us or something.
Yeah.
So it was just constant.
That's
thing.
what what do they call them? That's assistant director, I suppose.
Yeah,
Probably
but like
have
we
them.
didn't have an assistant director
Yeah.
after the first week.
So it piles on you,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it was a friend who did me a favor.
Yeah.
And they left after that first week. Like,
And in terms of casting of the film, how long do you think in the process of it, like when it actually started? Because I know when you cast the film, you're always looking, and then the actual auditions start. In terms
I'd
of
say
when you
not
started
long.
looking to when you cast everyone. How long was that?
About 2 months, I'd say. I'd say we started in end of March, thereabouts, maybe start of April. I know actually because I emailed Owen. He sent in the self tape. Emailed him. He wanted to meet me before he accepted the role. And I remember I met him that morning, and then I went to Neptune for an exam in UCC the same day.
Jeez.
And that would have been start of May. So around this time he would have gotten the role. And Owen and David O were the first two to be cast.
Okay.
And then Eric was cast very quickly. And then all the rest were like dominoes. Like some parts, like I wrote the role of Grace for Sarah, and I wrote the role of Johnny for Eric. So like those ones came very quickly.
Yeah, but as I said, like when casting happens, but you do have idea of what you think a certain person would play in the film. It's going through your head all the time. Yeah, I get that. Like I write stuff, and if I write like a short film or a script for a short film, I do have in my head ideas of who I probably think would play it, and then I can't get them out of my head. Yeah. So it's like even these people could be in a different country, but I still have them in my head playing this person.
Yeah, I find it a lot
of.
easier to write when you have an actor in mind because you pick up their little mannerisms and idiosyncrasies, and you know how they'd say a line where the rhythm of their voice would be and stuff, you know.
Small things like that are
Yeah.
huge. Yeah. I think with remember one was talking about his radio voice there, but like I think even with us as a group, I think we all just use our own natural voices, and when you talk about chemistry, that was built up to the point where it was shown on camera. I know exactly what you mean. The mannerisms, the way they walk, the way they speak, it's huge. Makes huge difference.
Even
For
the
a
way
bunch
they
of
run
boys
as
on
well.
College Road, like
The way they run as well, you know.
Yeah.
There was
oh man, that running scene. We're gonna do that one last time, guys.
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do that once more. You gonna use that shot? No, probably not.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember Owen turning to me after we ran it like 4 times, being like, "Fucking hell, I can't do this." There was like a stage where all 5 of us had to run up and down that alleyway with St. John's like 6 times,
Yeah.
chasing Brian. It was Sam in the end. And how does that shot look, by the way? Because I'm curious to see that.
It's cut.
It's cut. Brilliant. There you go, folks. So the whole thing.
No, the
Oh no, not the running, but the
it starts the reverse at the top of the alley when you grab him.
yeah. I mean
Yeah.
that scene, the
That's
running scene.
there.
I know. Yeah, that makes.
But like the bit we got when we all went down, like snuck down to the end of the alley and ran up, and we didn't want to wake the houses,
oh yeah,
and it was like dusk. We cut because it's clearly morning time. We couldn't use it.
that happened to me recently as well. I was shooting a show with Creator Studio, and we were shooting outside a house, and someone came out and was giving out the fact that it was like 11 a.m. on like or 11 p.m. on like a Wednesday night. And
Gosh, sure, we were cursed, man. How many times did we
Yeah,
get
didn't someone
rang
come
in?
out on a
4
balcony?
times they
The
rang on
guards
us.
came as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. I mean, like if like. I suppose it's funny though. What I found very funny was the guards pulled up and they were like, "What are you doing?" Or like making a film. Oh yeah, what's it about?
Blood on your
We're like,
face.
oh yeah, can I be in it? No, okay. Well,
The guards were sound, man.
They
I
were
have to
lovely.
say.
That's
They
what I
were
mean.
They
so,
were
so
very
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
That man who kept ringing them wasn't sound.
no.
I
think
Is
he was.
was someone actually? Because I
Yeah.
thought they were just
There-
patrolling. Should have been like in the city. They kind
There
of
was a
just,
lad up on a balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Across from St. John's.
I remember him
Yeah.
coming out once, but I wasn't during. I think there was a few
Yeah.
alleyway scenes that I wasn't there. So unless he came out more.
No, he
multiple
came
times.
out. It was that guy kept ringing the police because they were like, "Oh yeah, it's."
I
the
remember
same.
hearing in the middle of it, at the end of one of the takes, something in the background, and I just ignored it. But I remember after we'd done the take, then I just seen this man in his dressing gown approaching the set, and he was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
yeah." I mean, look, it's 4 a.m. and you account for making noise, but
Mm.
I remember we had to do the whole scene really quietly then for like
Yeah.
the rest of the day.
And then
Yeah,
there was
it
like
was,
one where you had to go all out, and we're all just like in the
And then
back.
we all just left.
We had everything we didn't need packed away into the cars and everything.
yeah,
and then
yeah,
we
just
went,
to run.
and then we literally ran to the cars, actors still in costume, and
And
just
David
drove off.
Ogden was beeping the horn as he
Yeah.
drove off. I remember, forget it.
We're just incriminating ourselves.
But look, we committed to it, and we'd spent so much hours on that film. We were like, we just don't care. We'll just get the shot
Yeah.
and go.
Mm.
I think that was the last time we'd shoot there as well. We didn't have to actually.
We went back
last
again.
night.
Did we?
The very last thing of the
Oh,
rave.
but it was
Yeah.
like
There
it was
were
like 10 o'clock at
two
night.
shots,
It wasn't
yeah.
like 4 a.m. That's why I
It was
remember
2
going back
shots.
there.
A word of advice for anyone: if you're shooting something that's exterior nighttime, don't shoot in the summer because you're
Yeah.
only going to have
Yeah.
about 5 hours at most of darkness, and
Yeah.
that's been generous.
I think everything we shot between 5 a.m. and like 8 a.m. was all had to be reshot because the
A
sun
lot of
was
that
up.
stuff was cut because
Yeah.
we were like, we just can't use it.
This is the
Mm.
scene with me, Johnny, and Connor, and I think it's some Davey has some spat with Johnny, and Connor breaks it up.
That's there because we reshot that.
That's what I
in
mean. Yeah, but I
darkness,
remember
yeah.
shooting it the first time, being like,
First
it just
time-
looks like 1 o'clock in the
Mm.
day.
Literally unusable.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the 4 of you were in the car before the rave.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
Cut.
Yeah, because it was. I remember David Ogden had a nice monologue there in that bit. Yeah,
Yep.
but as I say, Sunday was impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't shoot in summer, kids.
Unless, of course, like that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No, I
yeah.
think in fairness, because June was it June you started really kind of proper.
18th of June to the 4th of August
I was going to say till a few weeks ago. You're still
Yeah.
shooting stuff.
that was block
Yeah.
1. Then in September there was 3 days of filming.
Mm.
There was nothing in October. In November there was 2 days. In December there was 1 day, and 2 weeks ago there was 1 day as well. And that's it really. Like that thing that me and O need to do is literally 20 minutes. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
2 shots of him.
He was saying,
Yeah.
I met him in the studio a few weeks ago, and he said he was doing stuff, but it wasn't
Yeah.
anything crazy.
Fantastic. It was very guerrilla. I'll say that. I don't want to say where we went, but we snuck
Right.
into a lot of places that we shouldn't have been, and we got loads of cool shots.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
he wouldn't give it. Owen wouldn't be the fella to give it away either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's like a big process of a film, or like in terms of the length of it, and then you were there from like halfway through. Maeve joined us and made the whole
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
really fun.
Thanks.
Smaller scale, like 1 day shoots,
Yeah.
big long projects that you commit to.
Mm-hmm.
Which would you prefer to go on, or does it really matter to you?
I do like both. Like I think with longer ones, I think you kind of are able to form real like connections with these
Yeah.
people. Do you know what I mean? Like Like still, it depends. Like on like 1 day shoots, you can still have a great time with these people. Do you know what I mean? Like I've had a few shoots and they've been fabulous.
You've
Do you know
done
what I
some
mean?
stuff with Bolt, haven't you?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
on one with Owen that he was directing in February, and that I was on. It was a 2 day shoot, but I was on for 1 day, and even like that was a shoot. Now, like I knew a few people from like obviously Sam now in Georgia.
Yeah.
But even the people I didn't know, like we all got on very well. Do you know what I mean?
You
And I
know,
think so.
into Midnight City then, and obviously like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's your
exactly.
shows.
Yeah, and so you know, either or is grand. But I do think with the longer running ones, you really do get to actually make friends with people, like proper friendships. You know, it's so friends.
But even we hadn't seen each other in how long? So today it was like we'd never.
You know.
I mean, you literally gave me the middle finger when you came in the door.
Oh yeah,
It's you.
walking in with his big bin bag of coats.
That's from
Yeah,
you
that's for
putting an
Cian just off
emoji over
camera.
my face now on the promotion. So
Kane's hand is in the frame. Yeah, no, because I think with I mean, there's probably less, well, not less, but less kind of to remember if you're doing a short on 1 day.
yeah.
Because you brought every day to Midnight City, you had a big suitcase with you.
Oh, I bring that all the time because everyone.
Oh, you bring that? That must be your kit, so okay.
Yeah, it's literally just a thing that like you just bring everything because like no matter what it is that someone needs, they'll always go to makeup, even if it's like something like mints. So I have mints with me.
Mints.
Yeah, like just random things like sun cream.
And she didn't
like
bring him in here. Huh?
I
She
they're
took
in
all
here.
my chewing-gum and then she just didn't.
I took one.
Yeah, she took all of my chewing-gum.
Yeah, no, it's good because Hannah's doing like big scale stuff, but then
Mm.
she does small stuff with Bolt, like what you did.
Yeah.
And were you on the same thing with her that way? Or was
No,
it-
no, literally my first day meeting her was today. Yeah.
And that was Owen's short in February.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is the thing where like Bolt, there was always something cooking with him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cooking. That's the first time I've used that phrase. Cooking. It's a football phrase. But yeah, no, because with Bolt, it's mainly shorts, and I
Mhm.
know, and as you said, with the big scale things, you make connections like you wouldn't have known Owen before Midnight City, or maybe you would have. I'm not sure.
Well, we were literally like we were saying, like I think it's I don't know, like because with both, like even I was saying to Luke earlier, like I actually wouldn't have gone on Midnight City if it wasn't that I didn't work with Mark and Quiva
Yeah.
in 2 previous shorts. There were one, I think both of them were student films.
Yeah.
Is
you
that
know.
St. John's we see?
Yeah, St. John's.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Doreen and Shane Kelleher was the other one. And literally, if I didn't work with them, I probably wouldn't have been on this because I just got to know them through that. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I love about Cork. It's just tiny.
Yeah, and I love how everyone kind of knows everyone. So like every job you get, you at least know one person. Do you know what I mean?
And
So
even
it's
if you don't
nice,
know
like-
anybody, some of them know someone.
Yeah.
I think St. John's is always great for that.
Student films are the backbone of it, man.
Yeah,
That's
they're so
absolutely.
important.
100%. Like
Yeah.
it's the key. Everyone, anyone wants. I'd even encourage people if they want to do acting, don't even go to acting class. Just put yourself
Yeah,
forward.
but
for
like
Mhm.
student films.
it's great for everyone because like even on Midnight City we noticed some actors who were very inexperienced with camera.
Yeah.
And they grew into it as time went on.
Mhm.
Whereas like that experience on camera alone is invaluable for an actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even in acting, I know a lot of the extras and stuff were from Actors Vision.
Yeah.
Some of them were in my course, some were in them were acting with camera,
Mm.
and like again, you all know each other and stuff, so it's great. And a lot of them came to the black market scene, and I know it sounded funny, but it did look cool.
They
Yeah.
look cool.
It looked pretty cool. And obviously it was a bit of a nightmare, but look, is what it is. One thing I meant to ask you, Luke, as well. I know you music videos and stuff involved, and I talked about writing stuff with Georgia and Hannah in the last episode. Your process of like
Sorry.
trying to paint my table. I'm paying for this. I talked to George and Hannah about it, and they were saying that when it comes to writing a script or writing a film, they don't really have a process. They just write down moments, scenes, or things that they get inspired.
Yeah.
With films like Midnight City, I know you took a long time to write that, and you were even going to shoot it at one point, and then something happened.
Yeah. COVID happened, I think. as well.
COVID, a bunch of stuff happened. But would your process be with something like Midnight City, moments of inspiration, or would you sit down and be like beginning, middle, end?
It was what happened was I saw a movie called Breathless, which is a French film. I had to watch it in college, and I was like, that's amazing. What would it be like if you shot that in Cork? And that started the idea of a character who couldn't sleep, which is Connor.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, it was just like I knew the lads. Every character in the film is based off of someone I knew in real life, and then it just kind of it snowballed in, and then it was like you have something to say.
Okay.
You know?
So you're taking from your own life, so
Yeah,
basically, because I
yeah.
know some people then hate that they want to
Mm.
create its own little world.
But then
which
it's
is
not going to
great.
be authentic. Like
Yeah, I know.
I just think that's bollocks. Like
So I know because I started when
I
I
do.
when I started acting, I
Yeah.
found it very hard to like do a scene where say somebody's in tears and they're emotional or crying. It's very hard not to draw something from your own experience.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
yeah,
I've been Chekhov has taught me to not do that and do other things. But when I started, it was always
well,
that.
obviously, like you can you're not going to be able to relate to everything, but there has to be some sort of a truth that connects you to every single story, whether it's an actor
it's
or
your
a writer.
flesh. It's you that's writing it or acting in it, so it makes sense.
So like you need your way in. Like you'll hear a lot of writers talking about their way into something.
You even hear a lot of actors see a lot of actors doing the same thing in every movie.
Yeah,
Adam Sandler, prime example.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I know what you mean with it, but and even writing stories, if it's more personal to you, you know about the motion of it more.
Yeah,
so it becomes
because
more
it's
real.
like it's based on it's essentially a group of friends falling apart. Like is it, and how men tend to deal with emotions badly, you know.
Davey, prime example.
For Davey, yeah.
But I'm getting the again, that's the end, isn't that crazy how that flew?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm getting the
Oh
whip.
my god.
I have
I
like
know.
15 jokes about Maeve that I
Yeah.
haven't even got.
You could have crammed them in the
Wasted
beginning, or we can
potential.
just create its own little highlight episode where Maeve stands
You have
there
to
and
get
you
him
just
back
grill
on
her.
next
Yeah.
season.
Well,
Just so
I'll
he
come
can
on.
go
I
through
will
the
come on
lift.
if Maeve is on.
Wait, do we have a couple more minutes yet? 4 or 5?
Yeah.
Maeve, do you want to be an actor, yes or no?
No.
But you were so good as an extra.
Nah, that was terrible.
I do remember
You
those.
probably caught me,
I
just
do remember
cropped
I
me
said
out.
where there would be points where like you put me in a few times with hoodies on, but I'll be standing next to Maeve and Maeve would be kind of jittery,
I
kind of
was
like, what
just
do I
like,
do?
I have
What
no
do I
idea
do?
what to do. Like,
Just overthinking it. You need to
Because-
just let
Yeah.
loose.
And
Because
I
you have
can't-
your hair tied up in a bun, so you're
Yeah.
like, it's like a very distinct outline that
Yeah.
just keeps going past
and
the
I
camera.
can't dance. I really have 2 left feet, like, so to have me dancing in silence amongst other people.
Yeah, it's because
I can't
I've
do it.
seen clips behind the scenes of like
Oh,
films being made
God.
with nightclubs or even TV
Yeah.
shows, and it's just like you don't take into account how awkward it is when there's
Yeah,
no music.
yeah.
It's just people, and Luke could be like, okay, yeah, extras dance. And it just becomes more awkward. It's like, because I know what music you plan on having behind, obviously nightclub music, but is it like real kind of?
Shane Ring is an amazing sound recordist, an amazing sound designer. He's doing the music right now. So
Well done, Shane. Working hard,
yeah, we've got a lot of cool ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because because you said someone's name earlier to me in the shoot about someone you were going to use a song, but I don't think it worked out in the end.
No, the song we were going to use would have cost us 10 million euro to.
Oh my
put
god.
it. That's a joke.
Alright.
It's, I know, but it would have cost us a lot of.
I
money.
thought you were being dead serious.
I
there.
was
But
like,
your humour when you
whoa.
say things is a joke. I'm like, oh, he's being serious.
Yeah,
And you're like, no.
literally.
No, it would have cost us a lot of money. Like, because what
That's
happened
okay.
was I'm a bit of a hipster with music, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, and I knew this song, and I wrote it with the one scene in mind, and then it skyrocketed. It went massive on TikTok and everything,
Oh,
and
Jeez.
and then I was like, "There's no point in even asking." Like, you know,
TikTok's a killer for any songs.
yeah,
I feel
It's
like
so
if you
annoying.
go viral on there, you're set.
yeah.
Jeez, I mean, when you talk about music and stuff, I know with buyouts of even films, like having facial rights and all that kind of stuff in the film, it does bring back financially a lot. Like even props and stuff and locations. I know you probably had to pay a lot for locations and things like that.
Yeah. Pay a lot for everything, man.
Yeah, I can imagine everywhere you
Yeah.
go, it's probably money. So that makes
Yeah.
total sense that you want to get somewhere a bit cheaper and a bit better. But like, is the guy Shane? He's probably. Are you close to him? He's your.
Yeah,
friend,
he's
is he?
amazing. He's the guy who did the sound. He
He's the
recorded.
best. Was it that
sound.
Shane?
The
Yeah.
best.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
different Shane.
He's the best.
the best.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shane, is he watching? Probably is.
Better be.
Probably, yeah.
Because he was doing sound recently as well. Another feature that was
Yeah.
being shot in Cork recently.
Yeah.
So
I saw you were involved as well.
I was
Well,
so.
I was on that as well. Yeah.
Can we talk about it?
It's not my film to talk about.
Oh, okay.
But it was great. It was a great experience.
Yeah, I think there's a deep red called
Red,
a hell of
yeah.
a difference. I've seen
Yeah.
pictures of it.
It was really, it was fun,
yeah.
man. It was
I
just-
saw
it was
all them
good
on
fun.
it and I was like,
Yeah.
I'd love to work with all of you
I
again.
asked.
I've seen Shane, big picture of Shane with the mic
I
again. like that.
emailed before and I
Flashbacks.
was like, "Look, is Maeve going to be there?" And they were like, "No." I was like, "I'm on board."
They were like, who? And you're like, suits me.
yeah.
Maybe we're busy on some Netflix show, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just too busy with that. So with the film, you're just going through festival run submitting.
Yeah,
and seeing-
I don't want to name any festivals, but
That's fair,
it'll
yeah.
be submitted to 7 of them.
You told me one. I remember. I won't say it, but
Yeah.
Mm.
So well, we haven't heard anything back yet.
yeah. No, because I shot in the PAV recently, and they were saying that Indie Cork are planning to do their films in there for majority, and that's a great place to.
Yeah.
I was shooting for Creator Studio in there, and I was directing, and I now know your struggle of having to be in charge of everything
Oh yeah.
happening all the
Yeah.
time at every moment.
I
Including actors.
I directed, shot, co-produced, and was basically my own first AD for a lot of it.
Mm.
And then also I'm now editing the movie, so it was a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Like
And UCC Library for like.
in UCC
days.
Labs, UCC have been very good to me. They've
Really?
been very accommodating. They gave us a lot of equipment.
Yeah, I was gonna say
A lot. St. John's gave us a lot of crew, a lot
Mm.
of talented people, and then UCC gave us a lot of equipment, and they've accommodated me all year to let me edit the movie there as well.
Jeez.
Yeah.
There you go. You're
Yeah.
loved around Cork.
I am loved.
I'm getting the wrap it up.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. I'd say it every episode, but it flies, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
actually did, yeah.
Yeah.
Midnight City, so I can't give a release date, but it's coming.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
coming.
It's
though.
coming.
It's
It's
coming.
pretty much done.
Maeve is the lead in it, so you'll definitely watch it.
Wow, what
Yeah.
can I say?
We'll look out for you when the film comes out because you're in
Absolutely.
like every single extra scene.
You are in quite a bit.
Am
The
I?
house,
Oh no.
house is it the house party scene?
House
And the
party
nightclub
scene,
scene.
The nightclub
nightclub
scene.
scene. You're in somewhere else as well.
You
I
play
think.
the
yeah,
dead body.
there's yeah, I play everyone. It's actually
Yeah.
just on me.
Yeah. We've deep faked you in on all the places.
But yeah, that's the end of the episode, guys.
Oh, wow.
Thank you
It's
so
been a real
much.
pleasure. Thanks, Simon. Best of luck with everything with makeup,
Thank you.
everything with Midnight City,
Thank you.
and that's the end of the season. Oh my god.
Woo.
Yippee.
Okay.
Or the-
No, but serious. Yeah, end of season 4. Hopefully we'll be back for another episode sometime after I'm back from America in July. Might do one off. There's a guy called Michael Fitzgerald who's after setting up a Star Wars set in Cork. I don't know if you heard of him.
He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he was on to me about doing an episode just about the set. It looks pretty cool. So Michael, if you're watching, I have to get on to you about that. But for now, thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next season. Cheers. Wave at camera 2. Big wave.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
much, David.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Outro music, Emble's in, and podcast.